2 years ago, Deion Sanders stole Florida State's top recruit on signing day, and he's targeting FSU's top recruit again this year. We're going to talk about why it's not going to work this time and why Kam Davis will sign with the Seminoles. The events that led up to early signing day in 2021 were an absolute perfect storm. Or, if you're a Florida State fan, an imperfect storm. The team got off to one of the worst starts in school history. They finished 5-7. Also, too, Travis Hunter got hurt that year during his senior season. He had a lot more availability to take some visits that he otherwise may not have been able to take. Combine that with the fact that he rehabbed a little bit with Deion there at Jackson State, and the fact that Florida State had a pretty dismal season. He made a move, ended up signing with Jackson State, and shocked absolutely everyone. In 2023, Florida State has a 5-star athlete committed again. His name, Kam Davis. He's committed right now, and he's one of the best players in the country. 247 and On3, the two recruiting sites that most of you care about, have him listed as the number 2 running back in the country, according to their composites. He recently interviewed with both 247 and On3, and in his interviews, he spoke about how Deion has been very active with him since Colorado hired him. He's going to take an official visit to Florida State. And I've also been told, and it's been reported as well, that he's going to take another one of his official visits to Colorado. He'll likely take a few more in there as well. Now, it's no surprise that Deion would try to push here. First of all, I don't think he has anything out for Florida State. I think that Deion's job is to go out and get the best players, and Kam is one of those guys. I think that the fact that it's Florida State may make Deion smile a little bit more when he's able to win a recruiting battle there, but I don't think that this is some Deion's going after FSU for any particular reason. Is it an added bonus on top when he's able to win that battle? Absolutely. But it's going to be different this time, and we're going to talk about it here in just a moment. Obviously, because of what happened at the end of 2021 in that 2022 class with Travis Hunter, anytime that Deion targets one of your best players, Miami got to learn this the hard way this year, it is somewhat worrisome. Deion brings an army, and Deion was the absolute best on the field, and he's a guy that kids like to play for. Does Florida State have something to worry about right now with this recruitment? Just before we talk about that, we're going to give a little bit of love to our friends over at the Sheepdog Corporation. A reminder, they provide mental health counseling and PTSD treatment to vets, active military, and first responders. They're doing incredible work, and I'd encourage you guys to consider donating to them. I personally make a monthly donation every single month to try and give back to those who are serving and protecting us. Guys, we're not asking for a lot. You don't have to sign up for $500 a month or anything crazy. If you've got $5-10 and you'd like to give back and support, you'd certainly be willing to maybe go there and check out more about them. All of our content here is free, but if you've supported our other sponsors like Gramco, Garnet and Gold, and other people that we've shouted out, we'd ask you to support the Sheepdog as well. Not asking you to not look them up. They are very reputable, but go to their website, thesheepdogcorporation.com. We'll link it above and down below so that you can learn more about them and maybe sign up to give a one-time or recurring donation. Again, all of our content here is free, but we'd like for you to give back and maybe support some folks that support us. We are going to, in our spring game tailgate and all of our tailgates this year, give back a portion of ticket sales to the Sheepdog Corporation. We're giving back personally and as a company. I'd love if you guys did and joined us in doing that as well. If you do make a donation, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to be able to personally thank you for your support. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to comment down there as well, and I'm happy to answer anything I can on them. Florida State is in a much different place in 2023 than they were during that 2021 campaign. We know this. We've talked about it. Instead of fighting for a bowl game, Florida State's fighting for the college football playoff and an ACC championship. Instead of fighting for a top 20 class, Florida State is currently recruiting a top 5 class in the 2024 cycle. Long way to go there, but it's a different year. Mike Norvell also isn't going to be blindsided again. Communication issues that maybe led to Travis Hunter getting away are a thing of the past. All respect to Coach Woodson, who has moved on to Arkansas, but I also believe that some of the issues that led to Hunter getting away are no longer existent in the program. I believe that FSU recruiting Kam as a two-sport athlete is also really, really important. He's a baseball guy, and he's really good at it too. I think that the success of Link Jarrett and the baseball team that you've already seen early in the year over there on the diamond is only going to help. Florida State's football team is going to be very good this year. Florida State's baseball team is now ranked inside of the top 20. They're going to be very good this year. I think both of those help. I think if Florida State goes 8-4 or 9-3 in 2021, wins a few games that they were supposed to, they should have beaten Florida at the end of the year. Really should have beat Clemson. They should have beat Notre Dame. Obviously should have beat Jacksonville State. Lost to Louisville by 8 points. You had 4 or 5 wins in there. They probably end up with Travis Hunter. I think Florida State's record this year is going to be super helpful in holding on to Kam Davis. I also think the success of the baseball team and Link Jarrett recruiting him as well will also be helpful. Nobody recruits two sports athletes like Florida State. We've talked about this in the past. Prime's going to get recruits. Here's the one thing I know, though. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Mike Norvell knows this. What did Kam recently say to On3? Let's take a look. He said, I'm in a great position with Florida State. The bond we have is very strong. They also let me enjoy the recruiting process. So whenever I go to another school, there's no trust issues or anything like that. Kam's been committed to Florida State for a long time, much longer than most high schoolers stay committed to one program. You see kids decommit, you see them recommit, you see them decommit again, and then they finally commit somewhere and figure out where they're going to spend the next 2 to 3 years. Kam is still a kid, and he's going to go off and enjoy this recruitment process, and props to FSU for letting him do so, but also props to Kam Davis for being open, upfront, and honest with this staff. Meanwhile, other guys who didn't make it into Florida State and didn't get into FSU's previous classes were intentionally hiding things from this staff and Mike Norvell. That's not Kam's MO. He spoke about being honest with the staff and with Mike and letting them know what his moves were and what he's doing. He's committed, and he wants to be a Florida State Seminole, and I believe he's going to be a Florida State Seminole. But the honesty and the way that he's handling himself and going about his business is something that I wish other recruits in the past would have done. Obviously, everyone can do what they want. Everyone can live their own life. But I think it's pretty special what you're seeing Kam Davis do. I've got no problem with the kid taking visits. I think that, Florida State fans may be a little bit burned by how they feel about Deion just in general. But I think it'd be pretty cool to go on an official visit and have Primetime be your host. You may agree with that, you may not. But if I'm a kid and I'm committed, I'm taking my visits. I'm going different places. I'm traveling the country, and I'm taking my family with me. All expense paid trip 5 times a year, that seems pretty fun. I would absolutely do it. But I still think that the fact that he's honest with Norvell and the staff and the way he's going about it is a huge plus. And instead of being a red flag, it's a huge green flag. Excuse the pun there. But I think it's a great thing for what we want out of Kam Davis. Ultimately, I think that FSU needs to be aware of this situation, but they're not about to get caught flat-footed again. They're not about to get caught off guard again. They know the enemy. They know how dangerous Prime is, but they're locked in, and they're going to have an incredible season on the field, and Kam Davis, 5-star running back, is going to be a Florida State Seminole. Want to know just how special that season is going to be? You can click this link right here. If you want to know more about FSU's athletic director working to get FSU out of the ACC, you can click right here.